Greetings petrolheads and welcome to a new chapter of Assetto Corsa Competizione. In a very laudable move, Kunos has been explaining the rating system that they are using in Assetto Corsa Competizione. I'm going to try to give you the concentrated version in this video. Be aware that the game being in early access, anything that they say and therefore I explain is subject to change, and that the ratings that you get while playing the early access version may be completely eliminated or put to zero the moment the game is released in a 1.0 version. They are using the data that they are collecting now from all of us who are on early access to fine-tune the system, to find any errors in the system, to be sure that the system does what is intended. You'll find that the system is quite interestingly made, that it's well thought out, and that is because... I'll tell you at the end of the video. All the rating indicators go from 0 to 100 and try to be a percentage scale. You unlock the next rating indicator when you arrive at 50% of your actually active rating indicator. If we look at the picture that Kunos released, you will always start at TR track competence and then go all round and round and round until competition, unlocking every step that you see in this curve at 50%. Kunos considers the first three, TR, CN, CC, as driver-focused ratings. Let's start with TR track competence. As the name says, what it's measuring is how good do you know the track, how well are you able to drive on the track. And it starts by wanting you to do 1, then 2, then 4 clean laps in good conditions, less in rainy conditions or at night. Now, if you don't know the track well, and for some of the tracks it's very possible that you don't know, Misano for example is not a track that you find very often in simulations, it may be a good idea to do some starting laps with the racing line on that Assetto Corsa Competizione offers, so that you get a hang of what the best racing line would be. I advise setting the racing line off after you feel a little bit more confident, because if not, you'll grow accustomed to watching the racing line and not to watching the track and watching all the cues in the track that tell you where to brake, where to accelerate, etc. Once you arrive at a track competence of 50%, the consistency rating opens up. What Assetto Corsa Competizione measures with the consistency, the CN, is how well you are able to do one lap after the other, after the other, after the other, and so on a specific track. It counts the laps without spin or major problem that you have done at that track, and you get feedback at every corner based on different colors. Green, you're taking it quite well. Red, you're forcing it too much. Blue, you should put more effort. Kunos expects that most of us will reach 80% of consistency in each and every track. We'll see how that goes. What Kuno is trying to do with the consistency rating is helping us find the limits of the track and the best way to race at the limit of the track without overdriving. Reach 50% of the consistency rating and the car control rating opens up. The car control rating is similar to the consistency rating, but as the name says, it's not about the track, it's about the car that you're driving. As with the consistency rating, the goal here is to find the limits of the car, to push yourself in your car control to the limit without overdriving your car, without trying too hard. Drive carefully even while driving to the limit, and Kuno says The transitions and corner entries are important to get a good rating in car control. Reach 50% of car control and we move over to pace. One good way to get the pace rating up is doing the challenges that Assetto Corsa Competizione brings with it. Don't worry if you don't find the challenges that you had at the version 0.1 in the version 0.2. For technical reasons, these challenges had to be backed up. They're not gone forever, they're just gone for the actual version. And what the pace rating does is it analyzes your lap times and the car performance and wants to find out how consistent you're able to drive to the limit of the car and the track. Now, do you see a pattern here? I like the way that they've set up the different ratings so that you learn one part of racing at a time. For somebody like me who loves to race but is not very good, it's gonna be very interesting to see if and how Assetto Corsa Competizione helps me become a better racer. By the way, if you do the special challenges, you will end up in the leaderboards. So while this is not multiplayer, you will start measuring yourself against other sim racers. Again, reach 50% of the pace rating, and yeah, the next one opens up, which is the safety rating. No, pay attention. I know that I've been talking a while, but the safety rating is a long story. The safety rating is the first that is going to measure your performance in single player mode and in multiplayer mode, when the multiplayer mode comes, which is not active yet. First, you'll have to prove yourself against the AI before you are allowed to multiplay. What Kunos will do with a safety rating, and I quote, they're gonna measure accidents per opportunity to do so, and this will result in a trust rating. If you're racing alone all the time, nobody in front of you, nobody behind you, you won't have any opportunity to do any accident, which is good for you, but it won't help your safety rating that much. If you're always in tight situations fighting against other racers, AI or real people, and you don't have any accidents, your safety rating will go high at a very fast pace. I don't know Blancpain that much, but it seems that there is something called behavioral warning points, what a word, and Assetto Corsa Competizione has set up online behavioral warning points. For these OBWPs, contacts and accidents will be measured based on their severity. Have a little kiss with another car and nothing happens. This is racing. This is GT racing. Whenever you race GTs, you're gonna have some contact. Have a contact with another car, push it out of the track. This is not good. Have a contact with another car, push it so that this one has a contact with another car and results maybe in a cascading accident. This is very bad and it's not gonna help your rating. Be aware that Kuno's goal here is not deciding who the guilty party is. It's difficult enough for humans in real racing situations, having multiple videos, telemetry and whatnot to decide that. So imagine how incredibly difficult it is for any computerized system. Now, regarding the OBWPs, online behavioral warning points. It can happen that you're in a situation where you produce an accident or are part of an accident. If your trust rating is high, this won't affect your safety rating that much. What Kunos is trying to do here is compare your trust against your OBWPs and finding out if you're somebody who likes to crash against others a lot, or even if it's a heavy accident, this is something that happened once, twice, it can happen. I wish they would take that into consideration in, I don't know, Formula 1. Verstappen One of the goals of Kunos here is, of course, setting up a rating and putting you at the right place when going multiplayer, but also to offer you as the driver an analysis of the error or errors that you have done so that you can better yourself. Kunos themselves consider safety rating to be advisory and not a way to punish racers. Your trust rating goes high the more you race against others in tight situations without issues. All in all, the safety rating wants to detect clean driving, and Kunos is trying to set it up so that rookies and part-time sim racers, most of us, can still get a good safety rating. Repeat after me, reach 50% of safety rating and you move to Racecraft rating. Racecraft rating is gonna show you and others how good you are. Your position at the end of a race is only a very small part of it. One thing that Kunos have said that they want to do is that the fight for a position is gonna impact your Racecraft rating more than the position at the end of the race. It's gonna start measuring what you do when you get into what they will consider a fight, and that is when you are at about 3 or 4 tenths of a second from another racer, be it a racer in front of you or a racer behind you. And it's gonna stop measuring when one of the racers is 1 to 1.5 seconds away from the other. It's gonna be based on the rating of the two contendants. If you are of a lower rating than the racer in front of you and are able to keep the pace of the racer in front of you or even surpass that one, your Racecraft rating is gonna go higher, while the Racecraft rating of your contendant is gonna go lower. Kunos have said that they're gonna do tiny adjustments, so it's not as if the other one is at 60 and you're at 50, at the end of the race you're gonna be at 60 and he or she is gonna be at 50. But still, if you show yourself able to fight against somebody with a higher rating, you'll gain points. Vice versa, if you are fighting against somebody with a lower rating and are not able to get away from that racer, you're gonna lose in tiny adjustments, but still lose Racecraft rating, and your contendant is gonna win tiny Racecraft rating. These will be true for multiplayer, but AIs have Racecraft rating too, so single player performance also counts. And let's not forget that while it's not the most important point, your position at the end of the race will still influence your Racecraft rating. I suppose that reaching 50% in the Racecraft rating moves you to competition rating. But as you can see in the picture, competition rating is to be announced. We don't know anything yet. I suppose Kunos does, but they're not telling yet. And these may be something for official races? We don't know. This is the whole story about how the rating system indicators go in Assetto Corsa Competizione. One thing that is very clear is it will make many of us practice, practice, practice. What did the musician say when asked by the tourist how to get to Wembley Stadium? Practice, practice, practice. I think that for some or even many of us, it will be a very addictive thing because, of course, we all want to be better than the day before. And it will also show dedication and even force some kind of dedication as you have to work your way forward. I'm already planning my work calendar around Assetto Corsa Competizione. Aren't you? One point, don't get too attached to the numbers. Kunos has already reset the numbers a couple of times, because on the early access, they are using all the data to fine-tune their system and to find out if their system is well set up. You may be asking yourself, this is a complex system. Did they buy somebody from iRacing, or do they have a highly skilled mathematician? A little bit of sim racing history. There was a time, not too long ago, when there was a small application that you could put on an Assetto Corsa server called Minor Rating. Minor Rating had a way of measuring how good you were on the track and how safe you were in racing against others. Now, about 4 months ago, because of the European Data Protection Directive called GDPR, and the fear that in Germany these would be abused by lawyers, Minolin, as is his handle in the online world, stopped supporting Minor Rating and said that he would step back from Minor Rating. Why am I telling you this? Because Kunos was clever enough to take Minolin under their wings, offer him a job for the rating system of Assetto Corsa Competizione. Congratulations to Minolin for setting up Minor Rating, which was a good system, even if not perfect. Second, for getting a job with Assetto Corsa Competizione. And third, because if this system works as designed, it's gonna be a very interesting rating system. And also, lots of thanks to Minolin for taking the time not only to explain the ratings, but also to discuss with the racers what the goal is, to discuss any issues that the racers may have, and for engaging in a very fruitful conversation with the community. And thank you very much to Kunos for giving Minolin the time to engage the community. Whoa, look at the time. I gotta go practice a little bit more because my rating is not where I wanted it to be. What do you think about this rating system? Do you think it's gonna make us sim racers better? Do you think it's gonna make multiplayer races safer and more interesting? Let me know what you think in the comments. That would be all for now. If you liked this video and my explanations, please be so kind and applaud by leaving a like. If you want to see more of us, and we're publishing at least 2 videos per week, subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell. And until next time, save fuel, take pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium. Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing